Record. Got it. All right, it's recording. We're all ready
Okay.
to go, guys.
Hello, Danja. Hello, Jeremy. Uh, what if we start with our prayer? Who wants to offer it?
All set.
Okay. Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, thankful for today. We're thankful for the opportunity that we have to meet as a group and to talk about recruitment as a star. Please bless that we'll be able to have thy spirit with us and that we'll be able to learn stuff that we need to learn throughout this lesson. And we say, sing someone in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Hi, Danja. How was your week?
It was fine.
Spiritual plus is the same. Well, let's go. I'm going to lead this meeting since last week. What's the problem for each of us? And Samantha is not here again, so let me drive this meeting. Well, this is the case of recruitment but it's not any person is a star, and we hope we be a star. We become a star very soon. And here we have some questions. The first question is, what is really going on in this case? What do you say, Danja?
Wait, sorry. The case that we wrote about this week?
Yeah, that's what the discussion is talking about the case that we had, the recruitment star.
Sorry, hold on. I'm just...
Yeah.
There's a situation that happened at work, and so I'm trying to now focus on the school, and I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I think is going on in the case is that he's trying to find somebody to replace the star that he lost, but trying to figure out who the best candidate is, I guess, to replace that person. Whether it be promoting within and giving Rhea a chance, or finding somebody outside of the company to fill that spot.
Yep. Has anyone gone through that situation?
Yes, I have gone through that situation multiple times, to tell you the truth. I work fast food, so we have a big turnover rate, and the last couple of times I've tried to promote somebody outside of the store as a supervisor or a manager, and it's always come to like bite me in the butt. Like, I've never had somebody work out that we hired from outside the store. They seem to just like think that it's going to be something else than what it is, and so when they figure that out, then they just end up leaving quicker. But then when I promoted somebody that's within the store, it seems like they've lasted longer and they are like more, I guess, happy or willing to work the longer hours or do the stuff that's difficult for me anyway.
Yeah. What do you think is the atmosphere with the team when you have your own team? They trust in you and they think, oh, there is a promotion. Maybe it's going to be from one that he trusts, but maybe he don't trust us enough to put us in as a leader. What do you think is the atmosphere with the group?
Yeah, so for me, I think the group themselves, like the regular employees, that if you bring somebody in, they're kind of like, well, we don't trust him, they don't like him, and so like they don't necessarily, and it might be that they don't even know who he is, but they just don't trust him because he wasn't there before, and so it's kind of harder, especially on the other end too, like an employee coming in. This team's already been working together, they already know kind of what everybody's doing and what everybody knows each other, and then you're coming in as an outsider trying to figure out how you fit into that group or what you're going to do. I've been in both places, actually. I've been moved around and had to take over a store where they had all been together for about 10 years. And then I had to come in and say, hey, I'm the new boss. And so now we got to do things differently, or we got to do things like this. And like had to go over really good. Say really good sarcastically. It went over really bad until they got to know me. And now that they know me, now it's working really well. But yeah, it takes a long time to gain the confidence of a group of people.
Especially when the other team member have to teach the one. Well, you think, well, he is the best guy. He is the star. He is supposed he knows everything. Why should I have to teach him?
Right. Right.
Then, yeah.
Why am I training my own boss? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I've had that definitely, for sure.
Yeah, that just happened to me 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Over these 2 new units. If you remember, I work for a behavioral health clinic or company. So we deal with a lot of clients who need therapy and medication management. And I was originally, well, still in this clinic that didn't have to deal with substance use disorders, but now these 2 other clinics do, and I'm having to basically start from scratch and learning all of these other insurance issues and how to deal with working with the courts, because some people are court ordered for treatment. It's like this huge mess, and I have to frequently still ask my downline, what do we do about this? Or,
right.
like, what about this funding for this client who doesn't have insurance, that kind of a thing. Even still, it's crazy. It's stupid, but it happens.
Right.
But I do think that by going to the employees over things like that, it does, or it can build trust and respect on both parts. Because if you're just sitting in your office pretending like you know everything when you don't, and then making a ton of mistakes, it makes you look bad. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, after this assignment, I did read the other tag that took about what is the risk about hiring a star, and I suppose it was good to hire a star for the team, because I thought, oh well, he is a star, he is going to motivate the group again, etc., etc. But it's on the contrary. This was really new to me. I thought every time that I have the opportunity to hire something is, well, or promote something, well, you said, bring someone new to the organization that have new ideas. But this tech, there is a lot of risk about this.
Yeah.
And what do you think is interesting about this this case? What we need to learn about this?
I think the thing that's interesting, I guess, is that there's no like right or wrong answer to hiring. I mean, it just comes down to how well you can train them or how well you can get them to work and do what they need to do. Because like this case study, like you could promote the person within and have some issues, like her not maybe being a star or maybe not being able to be ranked, you know?
Yeah.
Or you can hire somebody that's ranked and have them come into the business and totally destroy it or totally change it completely, or want to leave after they've been there for a little bit, you know? So I think hiring is definitely difficult and definitely something that you have to weigh the options and definitely take the time to interview the people very well and find out who you want to hire there.
Yeah.
You got to have, I mean, there's some red flags with some of the ranked people that I saw anyway. The one guy said that he was not necessarily can't commit to being there for long term, and that he can never really know how long he's going to be at a place. And I think that that's kind of a red flag for me, that person's going to, the second he gets an offer somewhere else for better money, he's going to be out the door. So, and then age plays a part too, I think. I mean, going both ways, because I have an older generation that are good and great and want to work, and then I have a younger generation that doesn't want to work. They just want to collect the paycheck. They don't care if they come into work or if they're not coming into work that day or whatever have you. So it just depends, I think, there's a lot of factors, and each person's different, and each person, you have to kind of like weigh the options and see what you're going to get with that person.
I completely agree. Have you read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins?
Yeah, I had to read that last semester, I think, or the semester before.
Yeah, so I put on my board at work, are you on the right bus?
Right.
It's the same kind of thing. Like, are we hiring people that are the right people for our bus to get us in the right direction? Or are we just hiring people to fill spots?
Right.
I also started talking about, because we deal with nurses at work. So I started saying, are we just trying to use a Band-Aid, or is this person going to be the stitches that we need to fill this position? Yeah. Specifically with these people that, now I'm forgetting his name, Steven had interviewed. There's one specifically that I would not have gone with ever. Oh shoot, what's his name? David? It was
Is that the last one, right?
It was the super Gerald. It was Gerald who had fired his junior in a client presentation.
Yeah, that was the one that I was saying, like, he wasn't able to commit to the long-term.
Yeah, exactly. He's one I would not have ever considered, but all of the other three, except I didn't consider Rena, but the other three I felt like could have worked well enough in this position, and Steven probably could have coached this person or one of these three people to go where they needed to go,
Right.
Anyways, it's just goes back to the bus. Is it the right person on the bus, or is it not?
Well, and then like the person, I think it was the lady that had 2 little kids, and so everyone's kind of worried about that, or worried about her being able to work, I guess, the strenuous hours that they have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sonia.
I have that problem here at work, in my work right now, because I work fast food, so a lot of moms that are coming to work for me. Well, in the state that I'm in, or the city that I'm in, there's not daycare that works past 5 o'clock. So they all go 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, well, all of you pretty much are stuck 8 to 5, and that's it. But normal fast food restaurants, we work 11 to 7 is kind of a normal shift. And so I'm like, okay, now I got to rethink how I'm going to do this, or where I'm going to put people.
Yep.
So kind of like you said, the right people on the right bus, but then also the right schedule of the bus going in and out. So
exactly.
Yeah, the schedule is something that you need to consider. Here in Chile, I don't know there, but integration of the woman is very important. Women are getting hired, and they are put in the high positions, uh, despite of men or people in the organization. Yeah, they hire a woman and she's a leader, not a follower, but right in a position of a leader. And we have now uh, a lot of teachings about this, because uh, most of our personal or workers, they say, hey, where she come from, why she is here, is this because she have the knowledge or just because she is a woman? And but on the other side, we have women in the organization, and they are not leaders. They come from other places. And but we need to learn how we do business in a way that uh, we need to know that we all are humans, and even though there are differences, we can go over this. I don't know. I think there are minimal problem. I like to work with women because they work better, and there is more communication in the group, etc. And even the men, they come to work more shaved, uh, better washed, better dressed, and then the environment really is better. And let me check this. Well, there is no much information about the woman that was in replacement, Rena. So that is why I don't consider her in the position. But my preferred was Horcombe, Ted Horcombe. That was the one I selected. But also I was decided by Sonia. But what was more interesting to me is, what can we conclude about this? Do we need to hire a star, or do we give the opportunity for someone in our team? What do you think about that?
I think it depends on what you're wanting in the end goal. If you want the end goal to be that star gives you the star quality right now, and you need to land that client like right now, then I would say go with the star. But if you're willing to take the time and effort to, teach and coach those ones that aren't stars, you might have a long-term relationship with them, longer in the business or longer in the company, by taking one of those people that aren't the star or aren't the ranked person in this case.
Yeah, the reading gave me the impression that Stephen felt that Rena wasn't quite ready to take on such a big job. So I kind of think that for his peace in mind, he should hire one of the outside candidates and then help them to help Rena become that star later on.
Right. So in that case, I think hiring the older ranked person would probably be a pretty good candidate, because he could teach and coach Rena to be able to become a star later.
Yeah.
The other two are going to need to be coached, because they're on the way up to become ranked, but they're not quite ranked yet. So you're gonna have to coach them also.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. When is a good time to coaching one person of our team to replace us, that we move to another position also?
I'm always constantly coaching and wanting somebody to take my spot. I don't know if it was in the reading this week or if it was in readings that I've had in the past. Maybe it might have been in that book. the one that you were talking about, Danya. Just
Yeah.
for me, I think finding your own replacement doesn't necessarily mean that you're scared that they're going to take your spot, but just that if something does happen, say I do get promoted to a different job, or I get, just them taking the responsibility and wanting to learn my position is great. Not only does it help you to work better, but it also helps you to alleviate some of the issues that, like all the stuff that you have to take on, I guess.
Yeah.
So like me as a boss, I have 2 assistant managers that are training right now to take my spot. And basically they're helping me out run the business better, because one of them does the schedule, one of them does the paperwork in the morning that I have to do. And so them doing that makes it easier for me to be able to like go in and interview more people or coach more people and train more people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does.
So I feel like having somebody take your spot isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No. And
No.
we're all replaceable, honestly. Like the business is, should we leave whatever positions we're in now, those businesses might suffer a little. But to your point, if we're training the people below us to become better and to essentially take over what we do, it'll be better in the long run, and then people won't stress out so much because they already know what they're doing.
Right. Well, then you never know what'll happen. Like I could become sick or terminally ill, and then that I would rather leave my business or leave the business in a better position than just having to leave them without having somebody trained or having somebody better.
Right.
But I'm also not at the very top of my business either. There's a handful of positions up above me that I'm wanting to get to instead of staying at where I'm at too. So
Right.
Yeah, that is my second question. So, am I preparing myself to replace my boss?
yeah, I would say yes. I mean, I'm always, and my bosses are the same type as me. Like they're training me to take their spot because they want to. Some of them are a CEO that wants to retire and just be a silent partner and just make money and travel. So,
Right. I mean, you're either trying to replace or take over your current supervisor, or you're trying to find or make yourself better to take a similar job in a different company.
Yeah.
So it's either way, you're bettering yourself and learning the things that you could use either in your current company or in another one. So it's not like it's a bad thing.
The other thing I have on it too, like if you're training somebody to do your job, I think you start doing your job better because you're able to explain what you do or why you do what you do. And so then it actually kind of helps out just making your job better and making you better at your job. It's like I tell my supervisors and managers, if you can train somebody below you, because we get new people all the time coming in, I'm like, if you can train somebody below you, that means that you grasp the concept and you know it. So that means you're going to be good, and then you're going to train somebody, and hopefully they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have a person that have the same commitment or that want to grow up to the next level. And especially if this one can trust you and you trust him and all your team can trust him.
Right.
Well, I don't know if you have any question or anything to share about this lesson. Do you think that something should have been done to change this? what should have occurred in this case? What is the best result you think about this?
Well, I know that the boss had somewhat talked about that they didn't really throw any money at the person that was leaving, or didn't really like counter offer him. They kind of just let him go. So I don't know if, and I mean, it's all hypothetical because it could have backfired on them too, but I don't know if they could have possibly maybe countered offered more money in the job to keep him there until they landed that case, or
I think they tried, and he still was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah.
I don't know.
and it happens. I mean, sometimes it happens. Like, so sometimes you just got to move on and find somebody else too. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anything else. I don't think I would have changed anything else with it
No.
because I did bring him in and have the other employees kind of interview them too. It wasn't just him interviewing, and he did take their stuff into consideration, I think. So,
Yeah. He was very thorough too, like asking clients about these employees and everything. I was astounded.
yeah.
Yeah. This is something that it's not so common to do.
Yeah.
I think the one nice thing is that he had, Rena there to be able to do the job while he did all that interviewing. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I think what happens is, like in my business anyway, I am so busy and we're so busy all the time that sometimes when we have so many people leave at once, it becomes a point where we're like, okay, anybody with a pulse,
Right.
let's get them in and interview them or get them hired on. And so then you get people that aren't so good. So taking the time to interview and actually call on the references and like talk to people, I think is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, hiring takes a long time, especially when here in Chile we don't have much references about who was your last boss, why you were fired, and or one what. Well, the other day I had an interview with a girl that, and I asked her if she know what Caterpillar is. Um, well, we work in a mine and we work with big machines, but she answered me, "Oh, Caterpillar, yes, the one that sell um, hoodies and that things," but she knows nothing about the real company, which is uh, moving big trucks and dealers, and the other things are just merchandising and hot or things like that. So it's really tough to when you have to interview a person. Well, guys, thanks for meeting. I don't know if you have any other comments.
It was a super interesting case, and I really appreciated it because I feel I've had to fill 3 office specialist positions just this week. So it was opportune, but it was good.
Wow, great.
Me too. I had to hire 7 people because it's summertime now here. So I ended up having to hire 7 people for my business. And so I'm like, okay, this is great. Now I get to
Right?
put some of this stuff into practice, like, okay, hey, this person is not good. So,
All about the questions you ask, right?
right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is it.
Awesome.
Thanks for your time. This lesson also taught me a lot, especially watching myself. What am I doing to go up, or what am I doing to help others to go up to? I'm thankful for this class also.
Me too.
We'll meet you next week then.